All right, so Scarlet Witch, I mean, you know her from the movies, right? Probably seen her in some comics too, but her powers, I gotta say, there's something else.
It's really the sheer scope of it all, you know? It's almost overwhelming even for hardcore fans sometimes.
I bet. Like, where do you even start trying to break down everything she can do?
Well, the first thing to understand, I think, is that Scarlet Witch isn't just some powerful magic user.
Okay, so we're not talking like your average sorceress here.
Not even close. She's something called a Nexus being.
A Nexus being. Okay, that sounds pretty high level.
It is. It essentially means she's like a living anchor point for mystical energy.
So like a focal point for all the magic stuff in the universe.
Basically, but it goes even deeper than that. We're talking affecting space-time itself, altering the flow of universal energy.
So hold on, this isn't just casting spells, this is messing with the fundamental fabric of reality.
Precisely. And there's even this concept that she could become the ultimate Nexus.
Ultimate Nexus? What does that even mean?
Well, someone with influence over all realities, every possible world.
Multiversal influence. We're way beyond Infinity Stones territory now, right?
Oh, absolutely. And here's another thing that makes her unique, because she's a Nexus. Being all things that normally erase others, they just don't work on her. Fate manipulation, even death itself.
So she's basically immortal.
Yeah.
That explains a lot about her history.
It does, and that's just the foundation. We haven't even touched upon her specific powers yet.
All right, well, let's get into it then. I mean, we've got near immortality, reality warping. What else is there?
Let's start with the one everyone knows, Hexcraft.
Hexcraft. Classic Scarlet Witch, right? Hex bolts, warping probability to cause bad luck, all that jazz.
Well, it's a bit more nuanced than just bad luck. Think of it as probability manipulation on a scale most beings can't even comprehend.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me some specifics. What kind of stuff are we talking about?
Oh, and there's even a case where she gave everyone in an entire building the winning lottery ticket.
Seriously, the whole building. Talk about weaponized luck.
Right. It's like she's running a cosmic casino, but she gets to set the odds however she wants.
That's a pretty good analogy, actually. So we've got probability manipulation on a massive scale, but how does that tie into her being a Nexus being?
Well, remember, she's messing with the forces that hold the universe together. From manipulating energy to rewriting the laws of physics, it all comes back to that.
Okay, so from what we've covered so far, Scarlet Witch is already ridiculously powerful, and I have a feeling we're just scratching the surface.
Oh, you have no idea. Let's talk about primordial chaos.
Primordial chaos. Okay, now that sounds intense.
It is. It's the force of creation itself.
Yeah.
Everything originates from it, and Wanda can tap into that shaping reality at its most basic level.
All right, now I need an example, something that really illustrates just how powerful this is.
Well, there's this being called the In-Betweener, a cosmic entity representing the balance between order and chaos.
I've heard of him.
He was essentially shattered, reduced to nothing. And Wanda used her power to restore him to his full form.
She put a cosmic being back together. Are we talking God-level stuff here?
There's a line in the source material that I think sums it up perfectly. Creation holds no locked doors for her.
So basically no limits.
With this power, it seems that way. Which brings us to a power that truly blows all the lines, reality warping.
Reality warping. All right, things are getting serious now. What exactly are we talking about here?
We're talking entire dimensions coming into existence because she wills it, trapping people in personalized pocket realities tailored to their fears.
Personalized pocket dimensions. That's pretty creative.
She even defeated beings who were omnipotent in their own dimension.
Wait, she defeated an omnipotent being? How's that even possible? No, it's not just bending reality, it's completely rewriting it. And it sounds like she's got quite the imagination.
Oh, and one more thing. She literally turned a myth, the sword, and the star into a tangible reality.
The power to turn stories into existence.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a whole other level.
We've covered cosmic powers, reality warping, but let's not forget she's also a witch in the more traditional sense.
Right, of course. So we're talking spells, potions, summoning ritual.
It goes far beyond that. She possesses deep knowledge of mystical traditions, drawing on her heritage and other cultures to enhance her power.
Okay, so what are some of the most interesting powers in her witchy arsenal?
Well, for starters, astral projection.
Astral projection, like leaving her body.
Exactly. Still able to use her powers even while unconscious.
That's a bit creepy, actually. Imagine fighting a spirit that could blast you while its body's off who knows where.
Then there's soul manipulation.
Soul manipulation, what does that even entail?
Not just resurrection, but sensing good and evil auras. Judging someone's very essence.
So that you can see into your soul, that's kind of intense.
And on top of that, clairvoyance and telepathy. Knowing things she shouldn't. experiencing prophetic dreams and full-blown mind control.
So she's a walking, talking psychic hotline. A Ghostbuster AD. She can judge your soul. That's a lot to handle.
And yet there's this fascinating duality to her. She can summon demons for aid, but then use them to purify a polluted lake.
It's like she's a force of nature, capable of both creation and destruction. It all comes back to that primordial chaos, doesn't it?
It does. But hold on tight, because we haven't even touched upon her other abilities. The ones that truly showcase just how diverse and vast her power really is.
Right, well, bring it on. I'm ready to hear more.
Let's start with something that seems pretty basic. Flight.
Flight. Like she can just fly around.
Not just herself, she can actually grant the ability to others too. And then there are her force fields.
Force fields. Okay, those are pretty standard superhero stuff, right?
Not these. We're talking barriers that have withstood blasts capable of destroying all of creation.
So like basically indestructible.
Pretty much. It puts her durability on a whole other level.
I'm starting to see a pattern here. We're talking about power that's almost impossible to comprehend.
And her energy manipulation. Don't even get me started.
Oh, come on. You got to give me something. What can she do with energy manipulation?
Well, she once absorbed the power of Wonder Man. You know him?
Yeah, basically a walking nuclear reactor, right?
Exactly. And she used that power to teleport all mutants across the planet.
All mutants. That's not just teleportation. That's mass migration on a global scale.
And then there's time manipulation.
Time manipulation. Is there anything this woman can't do?
She can stop time completely, but she can also age someone thousands of years in seconds.
Okay, now that's just scary. Time travel is one thing, but controlling the aging process, that's a whole other level of messed up.
As if all that wasn't enough, she's also got power manipulation.
Power manipulation. So she can control other people's powers.
Bestow powers, amplify existing ones, or completely negate them. It's like she's the ultimate power broker, you know?
So not only is she ridiculously powerful herself, but she can control the powers of others too. At this point, I'm not sure what's more terrifying.
Well, we haven't even talked about the Darkhold yet.
The Darkhold, yeah, that's been a big part of her story lately. What exactly is it, and how has it affected her?
The true Darkhold, as it's called, isn't just a book.
Okay, then what is it?
It's a source of possibility itself. Knowledge of spells and realities beyond human comprehension.
And Wanda's merged with it, right? Became the living Darkhold. So what kind of changes have we seen since then?
Demonic appearances, unleashing nuclear ghosts. Her soul transformed into a labyrinth of horrors.
A labyrinth of horrors. That's pretty dark even for her.
Oh, and she imprisoned the god of chaos?
She what?
Imprisoned him within herself?
Okay, I gotta ask, after everything we've talked about, is Scarlet Witch the biggest threat in the Marvel universe?
It's not a simple question, you know? She saved the world countless times. Her intentions are usually good.
But
chaos magic is unpredictable. There's always the potential for unintended consequences.
right, like with House of M, when her reality warping went a bit haywire.
Exactly. And with the Darkhold amplifying her powers and potentially influencing her thoughts and actions, well, the stakes are pretty high.
So it's not just about raw power, it's about control. The balance between her humanity and the chaos she wields.
I think that's the heart of her story, really. It's a story about the burden of power, the struggle for self-acceptance, and the constant battle between order and chaos.
That's a lot deeper than I expected when we started talking about hex bolts and probability manipulation.
But that's the thing about these characters, you know? They reflect our own complexities, our potential for both good and evil.
We've gone from basic abilities to multiversal implications, from mystical spells to the terrifying depths of the Darkhold. It feels like we've only scratched the surface of who she is and what she's capable of.
And yet I think we've touched upon the most crucial aspects of her power set. The rest, as they say, is history. Or maybe in her case, the potential for infinite possibilities yet to be written.
Before we wrap things up, I'm curious, where does one even begin to learn more about all this? If someone wanted to delve deeper into Scarlet Witch, where should they start?
Well, the Marvel database is always a good place to start. It's like the Wikipedia of the Marvel Universe.
So a good overview. What about someone looking for something more in depth?
House of M is a must-read for understanding her reality warping powers. Avengers Disassembled explores the darker side of her magic.
Okay, those are going on my reading list. What about something a bit more recent?
The Trial of Magneto It deals with her current journey, her connection to her family, her battle with the Darkhold.
Excellent recommendations. Anything else you'd suggest?
Comic Vine is great for discussions and different perspectives, and for a more academic approach, there's a lot of work out there exploring the philosophical and ethical implications of superpowers.
So using comic books to examine bigger questions about power, responsibility, and nature of reality.
Exactly, it's what makes these characters so compelling.
Well, you've definitely given me a lot to think about. I feel like I just completed a crash course in chaos, magic, and the Marvel Universe.
And that, my friend, is just the tip of the iceberg.
I gotta say, going into this, I thought I had a pretty good grasp on Scarlet Witch's powers. But this is something else.
It's a lot to take in, isn't it? Reality warping, time manipulation, imprisoning gods.
It really makes you realize just how powerful she is. And with every news story, it seems like the writers push those boundaries even further.
Oh, absolutely. The possibilities with a character like this are endless.
Speaking of possibilities, where do you think things are headed for Scarlet Witch? What does the future hold for someone with this much power? This much potential for both good and destruction?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Will she master her powers and become a symbol of hope? Or will she succumb to the chaos and become the ultimate threat?
It's a question that goes way beyond just good and evil. It's about choice, about the responsibilities that comes with unimaginable power.
Exactly, and that's what makes her story so compelling. It's a reflection of our own struggles, you know? Our own internal battles between order and chaos. Our own potential for both greatness and destruction.
It really makes you think, if we had even a fraction of her power, how would we handle it? Would we use it for good, or would we be consumed by it?
That's a question we all have to answer for ourselves, I think. But exploring these fictional characters and their journeys can help us understand those choices a little better.
It's like holding up a mirror to humanity.
Yeah.
But instead of reflecting our everyday lives, it's reflecting our deepest fears and aspirations, magnified 1,000-fold.
That's the power of storytelling, isn't it? It allows us to explore these grand themes, these existential questions, in a way that's both engaging and safe.
We can learn from the mistakes of these characters, celebrate their triumphs, and ultimately find inspiration for our own life. You've definitely given me a lot to think about. I'm going to look at Scarlet Witch and all superheroes in a whole new light after this. This has been incredible. From simple hexes to reality-bending chaos, from soul magic to the depths of the Darkhold. I feel like I've been on a crash course in all things Scarlet Witch.
And hopefully you've come away with a deeper appreciation for her complexity, her power, and the enduring fascination she holds for so many people.
To all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of Scarlet Witch. Keep exploring the Marvel Universe, keep asking questions, and never be afraid to embrace the chaos. Until next time.